गौरंगगंधाय विकगिरिधारी शिशि राधा विनोद बिहारी जू की जय। श्री गोविंद गोपीनाथ मरन मोहन जू की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत नारायण गोसाई महाराज श्रील गुरुदेव की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशिमार भक्ति वेदांत वामन गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज शिल प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति प्रज्ञान केशव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई प्रभुपाद की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु महाभागवत शिल गोक्षरस बाबूजी महाराज की जय। नित्याल्प विश्व शिल सच्चिदानंद भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु वैष्णव सार्वभौम शिल जगन्नाथ दास बाबूजी महाराज की जय। श्री रूपानु गौड़ीय गुरु वर्ग की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार शिल भक्ति विज्ञान भारती गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार शिल भक्ति बल्लभ तीर्थ गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार शिल भक्ति दायित माधव गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार शिल भक्ति शिल भक्ति प्रमोद पुरी गोसाई महाराज की जय। नित्याल्प विष्णु विष्णुपार शुतर शत शिशुमार शिल भक्ति रक्षक श्रीधर गोसाई महाराज की जय। All the associates of Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nityalapa Vishtam Vishnupada. Sorry. Jai Srila Baladev Vijibhushan Prabhu ki jai. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur ki jai. Shri Narottam Srinivas Shamananda Prabhu Trai ki jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Gosai Pad ki jai. Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatt Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopal Bhattadas Raghunath Shar Gosai Prabhu ki jai. Shri Sarup Damodar Rai Ramanandari Shri Gaur Parshad Vrinda ki jai. Nam Achay Shri Haridas Thakur ki jai. प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासरी गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री क्षेत्र मंडल कोरमंडल ब्रजमंडल मथुर वृंदावन धाम की जय। सर्व अभीष्ट प्रदात गिरिराज महाराज की जय। श्री राधा कुंड श्याम कुंड की जय। श्री मुन देवी गंगा देवी की जय। श्री तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की जय। श्री भक्ति देवी की जय। श्री पूर्णमासी योग माया की जय। श्री गोपेश्वर महादेव की जय। श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। समागत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल। Hare Krishna, Dandavat pranams. Do a very short Mangala Charan and then we'll begin. Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Guruve Gaurachandraya Radhikaya Tadalaye Krishnaya Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namaha. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Namo mahavadanyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna chaitanya namne gauratvishe namaha. He Krishna karuna sindho deenabandho jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vrindayai Tulsi Devai Priyayai Keshavasya Cha Krishna Bhakti Pradevi Satyavatai Namo Namaha. Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Let's recite the pranam mantra for 1 second. Let me just open this up. Yeah, let's recite the pranam mantra for Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja. That's it. I think that's a good size. No, it's too big. All right. 1 second. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Rupanuga Priyaya Cha Srimate Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Namine Krishna Bhinna Prakasha Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Kshama Gunavataraya Gurave Prabhave Namaha Satirtha Priti Sadharma Guru Priti Pradarshine Ishodhyana Prabhavasya Prakashakayate Namaha Shri Kshetre Prabhupadasya Sthanodhara Sukirtaye Saraswatya Ganananda Samvardhanayate Namaha Shri Bhakti Daitam Nama Acharya Varyam Jagargurum Vande Shri Madhava Deva Gosvāmī Pravaram Prabhum. Jai Shri Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja Ki Jai. Hare Krishna Dandavat Pranams Nri Hari Prabhu Bhavatarani Mataji Nitai Mukeshji Chatamai Mataji Ganga Mataji and whoever else is there. I'm guessing Indira Mataji is there. And also all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jai Dev Prabhu, Krishna Rose, Ananda Pradayani, and maybe Vrinda Didi, and everybody else. Dandavat Pranams. So today, even though it's like we're many days past Srila Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Goswami Maharaj's appearance day, I'm continuing to read from Srila Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Maharaj's glorification of him in Sri Caitanya and his associates, because, well, for one thing, I've never read it before. So and since we started it, it's nice to just finish it. At least one time we'll have read his entire glorification in that book. And also, right now, I'm going to be probably moving to Radhakund this evening. I'm going to be traveling there with my brother. And Dandavat Pranams Mahibharat Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Yeah, so you'll see a different backgrounds behind me for I don't know how long I'll be there for, but because eventually I'm going to be moving there. So but I haven't had a chance to go there this whole time I've been in Vrindavan, which I came here before Julan time. So yeah, this is gonna be my first time going there and starting to get used to staying in my new situation. Um, and also today I plan to send the songbook finally to Anupam to just update the index at the end of the book. And then after that, I think it's ready for going to print. So now like my foot's just about to touch the finish line. Yeah, which will be a very big thing for me. Like that'll be that was the probably one of the biggest pressures I've ever had on me, like regarding projects. Um, and then sorry, I'm babbling on. Anyways, whatever. I'll babble on at the end. But now we'll see. I'm hoping, I don't know how much we have left, but I'm hoping we'll be able to finish Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Maharaj's glorification of Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Goswami Maharaj today. Um, And then I don't know what we're going to do tomorrow. Like really this month, what my focus really should be is preparing for the Bhaktivinoda Thakur retreat and also the Gaudiya Kirtana. And in the month of December, we're planning on completing the completely new version of the Gaudiya Kirtana. We're redoing it from scratch. And so those are, and then I have another GVP project, Prabandha Panchakam. So I think those three things will be my main focus in this month. So it would be really helpful for me if our morning programs could be going through Śrīla Bhakti Thakur's kirtans again. The thing is, we haven't finished going over Shikshashtak. Yeah, anyways, that's something I need to think about. Because it isn't nice if we just start it and then never finish it. Anyhow, that's something for me to think about, for us to think about, and let me know what you'd like. All right, let's start reading again. Okay, so last time we read up to other preaching achievements on Haribol Champak Mataji. All right, other preaching, what was it? Achievements. Let's find that. Other, the heck, sorry. Other preaching achievements. Is that how you spell achievements? Yeah. All right. Where did we leave off? Can't even remember. Okay, so I think he was going through Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja's preaching in I think we ended with the late 60s. So now, other preaching achievements. One of Srila Gurudev's extraordinary achievements was to pierce the fortress of impersonalist philosophy in the Punjab and in Hyderabad. Hundreds of men and women in these places accepted the pure doctrines of Mahaprabhu's religion and Vaishnav Sadasha, and took the vow of worshipping the Lord in the manner ordained by Mahaprabhu. I noticed there are many Punjabi devotees in Caitanya Gaudiya Math. Yeah, that preaching's been going on since the 60s even. Srimad Atul Krishna Goswami of Sri Radha Raman Temple in Sri Dham Vrindavan held a high opinion of Srila Gurudev, saying that he had never seen a gigantic spiritual personality of equal stature. As a result of his force of personality, Srila Gurudev acquired the land and buildings on the birthsite of his own spiritual master, the founder of the worldwide Sri Caitanya Math and Sri Gaudiya Math, Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur in Puri. And there's a very beautiful description of that in Srila Bhakti Vigyan Bharati Goswami Maharaj's book, Volcanic Energy. He also established centers in Sector 20B in Chandigarh and in the Tripura capital of Agartala, where he took over the service of the Lord Jagannath Temple. He was the chief organizer of the India-wide festivities celebrating Srila Prabhupada's 100th birthday, in which all of his godbrothers took part. It seems that no personality of any significance, whether president, state governor, judge, minister, barrister, lawyer, vice chancellor, professor, mayor, chief commissioner, doctor, inspector general of police, wealthy citizen, Westerner, or member of other religious denominations participating in interfaith conferences was not attracted to Srila Gurudev once he came into contact with him. A full account of his transcendental activities and contributions can be found in his full biography, which has been published as a separate volume. His extraordinary and exemplary character, his unbounded warmth and affectionate behavior, his outstanding tolerance and forgiveness were qualities which attracted educated and influential people, many of whom left material life to take Tridandi sannyas and dedicate their lives to the service of Krishna and the devotees. It was for this reason that the Sri Caitanya Gaudiya Math could have such wide results in such a short time. Srila Gurudev's Guru Puja lecture. Srila Gurudev gave the following nectarine instructions to his disciples in the evening religious assembly at Kolkata Math, 35 Satish Mukherjee Road on November 12, 1967. It was Uttana Ekadashi, his appearance day. Today, Uttana Ekadashi is also the tithi when we worship our predecessor Acharya, Srimad Gaurkishore Das Babaji Maharaj, for it is his disappearance day. You have heard a great deal about Babaji Maharaj's transcendental activities and teachings from the Venerable Srimad Puri Maharaj. As I utter his name, I beg for his blessings, and I also pray for the blessings of my Guru Maharaj, who is none different from him. I think next year on Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Day, we'll read this. Coincidentally, this also happens to be my own birthday. Those who love me have taken this opportunity to give me their profuse blessings. Who is such a fool that he will not accept blessings when they are given? Who will not take the opportunity to make spiritual advancement when it comes? I therefore humbly accept all of your blessings. May every one of my senses be constantly engaged in the service of Krishna and his devotees by your mercy. It is the custom for those in the renounced order to worship the Guru on their own birthday. So today, I make this my personal duty. I have three types of gurus. 1. The word guru means the destroyer of ignorance. The embodiment of unlimited knowledge is the Lord himself, whose appearance destroys all ignorance. The Lord himself is thus the root of the truth that is Guru. 2. The second is he who personally attracted me and engaged me in the service of the Lord, who is himself another form of the Lord. He who founded the worldwide Caitanya Math and Gaudiya Math, my Gurudev Nityalila Pravishta Prabhupada Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Gosvāmī Thakur. 3. Thirdly, all the Vaishnavas are my gurus. What do the Vaishnavas do? Just as it is the Guru's job to constantly engage the disciple in the service of the supreme object of service, the Lord, similarly, the Vaishnavas keep us engaged in the service of our worshipable Lord. Disciples are also another form of Guru, as they too engage us in the service of our Guru. It is impossible to get away with any apparent behavior. If you deviate in any way, they will catch you. So I also include my disciples amongst my gurus. Today my disciples performed worship through kirtan. By listening to their kirtan, I performed worship. If by listening I had any untoward motives, if I had tried to pocket it, then there would have been no puja. Just as kirtan is a devotional activity, so listening is also a devotional activity. However we express it, they are all my masters whom I must serve. Even though they are my masters, the objects of my service, the great affection I have for them makes me instruct them, take care of, and protect them in the same way that Yashoda Mata and Nanda Maharaj punished Gopal, instructed, and took care of him. When Yashoda Mata bound little Gopal to the mortar, she did not do so because she considered him to be the object of her service. She did it because she considered him to be her child. The object of service can be both the one who protects and the one who is protected, the one who takes care and the one who is taken care of. Therefore, both attitudes are found in a pure devotee. Srila Prabhupada called his disciples Prabhu. He called even his most junior disciples Prabhu and used the polite form of the pronoun apni. He also used the more intimate pronouns tui and tumi with only a very few of his disciples. He did that with our Param Gurudev, Śrīla Bhakti Keshav Goswami Maharaj. And I think with Paramananda Vidyaratna, and I think there was one other person that was mentioned by my Gurudev. He was never condescending, but he would chastise and instruct even those disciples whom he addressed as Prabhu, using the respectful pronoun apni. When one calls someone Prabhu or Master, it is not paradoxical to then when one calls someone Prabhu or Master, is it not then paradoxical to then discipline him? Some might even consider it to be a kind of hypocrisy. But this is not hypocrisy on his part. When he calls his disciple Master, he means it. On the other hand, when the other mood comes on him, he disciplines his disciple. In one way of looking at things, the spiritual master is a disciplinarian. In another, he is the disciple's dearmost friend and well-wisher. I am most grateful to all those who have blessed me today. May the result of their blessings be that my every thought and instinct be directed toward the service of Krishna and his devotees. If anyone was really worshipping me, then he should know that he has in fact worshipped my spiritual master, who is the real object of worship. Service to the Guru is service to God. I never saw anything in my Guru other than the desire to achieve the pleasure of the Lord. He never for a moment thought that anything other than devotion to Krishna was in the true interest of the conditioned souls. Had he thought thus, he would not have been able to keep someone like me in the mat. Wow, so humble though, huh? He never for a moment thought that anything other than devotion to Krishna was the true interest of the conditioned souls. Had he thought thus, he would have not. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so Vacho Vegam Manasakroda Vegam Jiva Vegam Udarupasta Vegam Etan Vegan Yovishaheta Dhira Sarvam Apimam Prithivim Sashishyat. It's the first verse of Upadeshamrita. A sober person who can tolerate the urges of speech, the mind and anger, as well as the urges to taste nice food, to fill the belly, and to satisfy the genitals, is qualified to become master of the entire world. Those who have controlled the 6 urges are qualified to discipline others. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur considered the above instruction to be directed towards householders and not to renunciates, because unless one has truly been able to control the 6 urges, he is not qualified to lead the householder ashram. That kind of stuff always freaks me out. Why then did Srila Prabhupada make me a tyagi when I have not been able to master the 6 urges? Perhaps I can make a mistake, but he certainly could not have made one. As my well-wisher, as my protector and master, why did he keep me in the mat? The reason is he knew with certainty that there is no way for anyone to achieve the ultimate good without associating with Vaishnavas and engaging in the service of the Supreme Lord. Through association with the devotees, by hearing the scriptures, one is able to experience the greatness of the Lord. This gives him the impetus to serve the Lord. There is no guarantee that simply by superficially controlling the senses, one will become a devotee. There are many eunuchs in the world who would have become devotees if that were the case. Yeah. Such sense control or renunciation has no standing unless there is love for the Guru, Krishna, and Radha. Without love for Krishna, without service to my Lord, then all this renunciation is not worth a plugged nickel. It is false renunciation. And there's that famous term, Markota Vairagya, monkey renunciation. Monkeys don't have any possessions. They don't have any clothes. And that way they're completely renounced. They don't have it. But what are they thinking about all the time? is stealing other people's things and eating them and like that, but they don't keep anything. So in one way, they seem renounced. A renunciate or celibate, and isn't it like that's a thing? Like there are people who are just asexual, which means they don't have any of that like sex drive or anything like that. But that doesn't mean that they're brahmacharis because like that they're, um yeah, it's just being celibate doesn't make you, you know, a renounced person. A renunciant or celibate who has no interest in service to the Lord is nowhere near as dear to us as someone who has dedicated himself to the Lord's service. He is by far superior. This is because, even though at first he may be somewhat erratic in controlling his senses, through the higher taste, his senses will ultimately be completely mastered, and he will have no interest in anything but Krishna. Nothing else will enchant him. Vishaya vinivartante niraharasya dehina rasavarjang rasopyasya parang drishtva nivartante. Although a person of gross corporeal consciousness may avoid sense objects by external renunciation, his eagerness for sense enjoyment remains within. However, inner attachment to sense objects is spontaneously denounced by the person of properly adjusted intelligence due to his having had a glimpse of the all-attractive beauty of the supreme truth. It's Bhagavad Gita 259. One may fast, but does that stop one from desiring food? Even if one stops sense activities, the tendency to engage in such activities is not stopped. When one experiences a higher taste, however, one loses one's interest in the lower taste. When one has the experience of the joys of love for Krishna, then the inferior pleasures of the world cease to hold any charm. This is called Yukta Vairagya. This is why Narad Muni instructed Maharaj Yudhishthir, Tasmat kena pipayena mana Krishne nishevayet. Niveshayat. O Maharaj Yudhishthir, engage your mind in Krishna by any means possible. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:132. In any way you can, just somehow or other, we need to keep our minds engaged in Krishna. And that's the purpose of why everything we do is so that we can always engage our mind in, or focus our mind on Krishna. That's the purpose of every devotional practice, everything that we do is so that we can fix our mind. I may be renounced, but my mind is still accepting and rejecting thoughts and desires constantly. So I'm associating with my mind, not with Krishna. What benefit can come of that? It is of no benefit to me to associate with someone who simply praises and flatters me. It is far more beneficial to find the company of someone who will discipline me, who will instruct me, and show me my mistakes. Devotion to Krishna has no relation to worldly learning or ignorance. If it did, then scholars and pundits would all be devotees. Whoever has realized that the ultimate goal of life is Krishna's pleasure alone does not need to waste his time in studies. I remember an event which took place when I was at the Madras Gaudiya Math, where I spent about 10 years of my life. Through the efforts of Shripad Sridhar Maharaj, Shripad Ban Maharaj, and other venerable godbrothers and me, we were able to build the Madras temple. Ramachandra Ayar, the son of the man who had donated the land for the temple, Sadashiv Ayar, advised us to learn Tamil so that we could preach to the general populace of the city. He even took steps to help us learn. I had been studying Tamil for only 3 days when a telegram came telling me to go to Puri. When I saw Prabhupada, I told him that it would take about 6 months to learn Tamil. Srila Prabhupada said, Krishna Bhakti is not transmitted by language. Through it, You will be able to transmit learning or scholarship, but that is all. Love for Krishna is communicated by one who possesses love for Krishna. Preach in whatever languages you already know. I don't advise you to lose your valuable time learning other languages. Well, just yesterday, I was talking to a brahmachari who wanted to go to the Mysore school, or what is it called? The Language school, or something like that, and just stay there for a few months so he can learn Hindi. And I'm feeling justified now in trying to discourage, or whatever, validated, trying to discourage him from that. Well, I didn't fully. Anyways, whatever. The mat is there for cultivating one's inherent love for Krishna. Wow. What is the mat there for? Culturing one's inherent love for Krishna. Through such culture, one feels happiness, and he communicates that happiness to others. One who loves Krishna loves every single living being. Devotion to the Lord is awakened by associating with saintly devotees. Sangena sadhubhaktanam Ishvararadhanena cha. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:730. I may be incapable, but my worshipable Lord is not. If any of you engage me in the service of Krishna and his devotees, then my worshipable Lords Srila Prabhupada, Mahaprabhu, and Radha Krishna will surely give you their combined blessings. May all of you be successful. May Srila Prabhupada be pleased with all of you. Sorry, with you all. Sorry, somebody came to the door. Registration of Sri Caitanya Gaudiya Math. In order to assure the proper management of the Sri Caitanya Gaudiya Math, Srila Gurudev had the society officially registered according to the Registration of Societies, West Bengal Act. I don't know how to read Roman numerals. I'm not very good at that. Anyways, whatever. Of 1961. This was done on August 9, 1976. Not long thereafter, he wrote the following letter. I love how Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja gives like every single little tiny detail. Okay, so to the members and associates of the Sri Caitanya Gaudiya Math, as well as to all my disciples. My physical condition is worsening, and I do not know where I do not know where I will be when I leave my body. In view of my imminent departure, I make the following submission to my disciples, whether renounced or householder, as well as to my affectionate godbrothers, that I have registered all of my mats and temples according to the Society Registration Act. The society has 12 trustees. None of these trustees can be changed unless it is proved that they have committed a serious fault contrary to the principles of pure devotion or some act which is against the interests of the mat and its preaching activities. If one of the trustees leaves of his own will, then someone else may be chosen to replace him according to the rules. I have chosen Tridandi Bhikshu Srimad Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Mahārāja to be president and acharya of the Sri Caitanya Gaudiya Math after my departure. I will be happy if everyone works towards the maintenance of the institution, preaching pure devotion, and maintaining its principles under his leadership. The humble petitioner, Tridandi Bhikshu Sri Bhakti Dayita Mādhava, December 27, 1976. Wow, I didn't realize the Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Gosvāmī Mahārāja was made Acharya 1976. Srila Gurudev's last instructions. Oh, and Haribol, Nadi Krishna Prabhu, and Rukmini Didi. And I already mentioned Bhavatarani Mataji, right? All right. So the following lecture was delivered at the Kolkata Sri Caitanya Gaudiya Math on the morning of Saturday, December 30, 1978. So these are Srila Gurudev's last instructions. Srila Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja's last instruction. Chidandi Swami Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Maharaj told, Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Maharaj is talking about himself in the third person, which is very common when they're writing these biography things. Like my Gurudev did the same thing in his biography of Pam Gurudev. Okay, so Jadandi Swami Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Maharaj told Srila Gurudev that a devotee inexperienced in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Siddhanta had come to Kolkata from Chandigarh in order to receive personal instructions from Srila Gurudev himself. The devotee had been there for several days, but since the doctor had forbidden Gurudev to talk excessively, he had no opportunity to hear him speak. It would be nice if Gurudev could say something to him. Our most worshipable Srila Guru Maharaj then started to speak, directing his words to that devotee who had taken shelter of him. I wonder what devotee that was. Very fortunate then, huh? Exclusive devotion to Krishna. I am not well, and the doctor has warned me not to speak too much. It is quite possible that I will not stay much longer in this world. I am telling you that to engage in a proper practice of devotional service, you must be fixed in the worship of the ultimate object of your devotion. When a woman is not faithful to her husband, when she loves someone else, she cannot give herself to his service. Infidelity and exclusive devotion cannot go together. For this reason, a faithful and devoted wife will never allow anyone to take the place of her husband, nor will she criticize anyone else. She will not condemn her brother-in-law, her mother-in-law, or her father-in-law, or anyone else who is related to her husband, but will rather give each of them his or her due respect. In the same way, if you wish to advance in devotional service, worship Krishna alone. Do not criticize the other gods and goddesses, but think of them as servants of Krishna and give them their due respect in that consciousness. But be careful to never give them the place which is due to the ultimate object of your devotion. I am giving you this instruction. Give this matter a little thought. You are a competent person. You are highly qualified. But you don't understand this tradition yet. In the Gaudiya Sampradaya, in the lineage of Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, in the religious tradition of devotion to Krishna, dedicated devotees worship Krishna exclusively. If you put other gods and goddesses on the same level as Krishna, you are making a mistake. Don't forget this. Not all gods and goddesses are equal, nor all avatars of Vishnu. Ete chanksa kalapungsa Krishnastu Bhagavan Swayam. Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.28. After discussing all the different avatars, Matsya, Kurma, Rama, Nrsimha, etc., Vedavyas says that none of these avatars is Krishna himself. Some of them are expansions, some are partial manifestations, but Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Jar Bhagavatta hoite anyar Bhagavatta Swayam Bhagavan Shabder Tahate Satta. The epithet Swayam Bhagavan can only be used for him from whom the characteristics of Godhead are derived. It's Chaitanya Charitamrita 1.2.88. No one is equal to Krishna. Everyone should keep this in mind. Everyone should keep this in mind and worship Krishna exclusively and with dedication. Devotion will not increase by making a great sound and fury. Everyone should remember this. Everyone should remember that no one is equal to Krishna, and that everyone should keep this in mind and worship Krishna exclusively with dedication. Devotion will not increase by making a great sound and fury. We will not condemn any other gods or goddesses, but will pray to them to give us the blessing that we remain fixed on our supreme object of worship, Krishna. Instructions for the Math after his departure. I have registered the Math. The Math is no one's personal property. But that doesn't mean that each of us becomes boss or becomes indisciplined. By doing so, this life will have been wasted. Therefore, a management scheme is necessary for the proper running of the Math. One person will be named Acharya, and he will be the head man or president. When I am gone, one person will take my place. Who will that be? My spiritual master did not like the idea that there should be a vote to decide the matter. To elect an Acharya is not in accordance with the principles of Hari Bhakti. God himself will decide who is the Acharya. The Acharya is the person who is most dear to the Lord. Who will make that decision? The proper arrangement is when the Lord himself says, "This person is the one who is most dear to me." Therefore, the rule of the disciplic succession is that the choice should come from above. The correct process is that the order should be given from higher up. From the worldly point of view, everyone can get together to elect a leader, but the correct process is that the Lord himself indicates which devotee is filled with love for him, and he makes him the Acharya. This is the process approved by scripture. When Srila Prabhupada was exhibiting pastimes of illness, he asked the solicitor, Mr. J. N. Vasu, to write up a constitution. We heard that the constitution could be made according to one of two methods, by nomination or by election. Finally, the constitution was written according to the latter method, according to election, I guess. But Srila Prabhupada did not like it, and he rejected it. I and 2 or 3 others were personally present when it happened. You cannot decide who is a sadhu, an acharya, or a realized soul by taking a vote on the matter. Someone will say one thing, another something else, and the debate will simply go on. Therefore, the proper method is that the Lord himself will choose which person will be honored with the position of acharya. The scripture enjoins us to respect this process. This process is not followed only in the Gaudiya Sampradaya. It can be seen in every Vaishnava Sampradaya, the Ramanuja, Madhva, Nimbarka, and Vishnu Swami lineages. This is the way that the disciplic succession is maintained. Therefore, the process ordained in the disciplic succession must be followed. I have therefore discussed with my senior godbrothers who are a part of the Gaudiya Math Brotherhood, and I have decided to make Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Mahārāja my successor and president in my absence. When I have gone, that does not give you all an excuse to behave just as you please. The defining characteristic of a Vaishnava is following a devotee. The highest order devotee is the one who follows the footsteps of a devotee for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. The Lord's blessings follow the blessings of the devotee. When a devotee is merciful to someone, the Lord's mercy follows. This is the essence of my instruction to you. Please follow it. I have written in more detail elsewhere. It will not be correct if you try to expel someone out of the Math as soon as there is some discord. That will result in chaos. You first have to explain and try to clarify the situation. If that still doesn't work, then give the devotee who is causing problems some money and a letter and send him to another Math. Do not act impetuously, but try to work together to follow the person who has been made, sorry, yeah. Do not act impetuously, but try to work together and follow the person who has been made leader. It is not proper to ignore his commands and to do as one pleases. One has to follow the directions of the temple commanders. All his commands are given for the service of the Lord. Bear that in mind. 3 impediments to devotional service. I want to say one more thing. We have come here to engage in devotional service to Krishna. There are 3 principal impediments we have to watch out for. The first is a desire for sense gratification. The first obstacle to devotional service is kanak, gold, the greed to accumulate lots of money. Your attention, your attachment should be fixed on Krishna's lotus feet. If you become attached to anything else, you will fall down. You should not think that because outsiders will not understand, you should save money for a rainy day. Mendicants beg. That is their duty. But they should turn whatever money they collect over to the mott. The temple managers should note that they must arrange for treatment if any temple devotee falls ill. If necessary, they should borrow money, but they must see that the devotee is taken care of. I can remember a time in the mott when we didn't even have money for groceries. Then I borrowed money from someone without telling any of the devotees and went and bought food from the market. Only Udharan Prabhu knew about it. Udharan Prabhu would also go to a householder's place and borrow money from him. The householder was Govinda Babu. If Govinda Babu didn't have any money, he borrowed it from his wife. Later, I paid all the money back. How many people know about that? Wow, that's very important. So any mott resident that needs any doctor, by any means possible, even if you have to borrow money, they must be taken care of. Shripad Goswami Maharaj, Shripad Nemi Maharaj, and I did all the collecting. I would put on a waistcoat and would go out to collect. Then I would come back and give all the money to the temple. Śrīla Bhakti Tīrtha Maharaj, Jajavar Maharaj, and Sridhar Maharaj would accompany me. Whenever they needed something, I would buy it. But I never spent the temple collection money for myself. When I was at the Kolkata mott, I would say to Kunjada, "Is there any cloth in the mott? If there is, let me have one." But I would never ask for anything that I did not need, just for pleasure. None of you should set aside money that was collected for the temple. That will disrupt your devotional life. It doesn't really matter to the mott if you decide to hold some of the money for yourself, because the mott is protected by Krishna, the devotees, the Vaishnavas. But if you try to build up a savings account with that money, your spiritual life will go to hell, and you will not last long in devotional service. So please, don't set money aside for your personal use. Give everything to the temple manager. If there is any problem, tell the temple manager. The desire for money is an obstacle to devotional service. The next obstacle is association with women. Both direct association and subtle association are a hindrance. It goes without saying that you don't engage in gross sexual activity, but you shouldn't even think about it, because we have given up everything to come here and engage in the service of the Lord. The third obstacle is a desire for personal aggrandizement. Srila Gurudev wrote, Kanaka kamini pratishta bhagini chariyache jare sheto vaishnava she anashakta she shuddha bhakta sangsara tatai Pai Parabhava. Someone who has given up the tigresses of gold, women, and fame is a true Vaishnava. He is unattached and a pure devotee. He has overcome the illusory power of the material world. Prabhupada here compares the desires for wealth, women, and fame to a tigress. The desire for fame and good reputation are very strong and problematic. But even someone who does not seek fame finds that it comes to him of its own accord when he engages in true service to the Lord. People naturally give him their respect. People will always give respect to a true devotee. And now, Pratishtara bhaye puri gelo palasha, Krishna premi pratishta chale shange garasha. Garasha? I think it's supposed to be palaya.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it's Balaya and Goraya. It was
Yeah,
probably
okay.
changed from Balaram front.
Okay, great. Yeah, so Pratishtara bhaya puri gelo palaya, Krishna premi pratishta chale shange goraya. Madhavendra Puri ran away, afraid of being distracted by fame. But when one has love for Krishna, fame follows alongside him. That's Madhya Lila, chapter 4, verse 147. So you avoid these three obstacles. It is not an easy thing to do, for they draw the mind. The conditioned soul lives for money, women, and fame. They are anarthas that remain to a greater or lesser extent in the mind of the practitioner. But we should not tolerate their presence or approve of them. Tirtha Maharaj cannot always stay here, so Jagmohan Prabhu has to run the mat. Don't be offended if I am rough with you. Forgive me. Vaishnavas are my object of worship. I want to serve all of you. Worship the Lord with unflinching dedication. Do not stop worshiping Him, no matter what situation you are in. This is my prayer to you, my appeal, and my instruction. Chant the holy name in all circumstances. Worship Krishna always. Always respect the best Vaishnav, and do not hesitate to do so. May all auspiciousness follow you all. Panchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. I offer my respectful obeisances unto all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desire trees which can bestow all that is wished for. They are oceans of compassion who purify the fallen souls. Srila Gurudev's disappearance. On Tuesday, February 27, 1979, at 9 a.m., in the midst of the singing of the holy names, Srila Gurudev entered the eternal pastimes of the Lord at the time of his morning pastimes with Radha. He left his godbrothers and disciples in an ocean of grief. It was also the disappearance day of Jagannath Das Babaji and Rasikananda Dev Goswami, and the first day of the bright fortnight. Srila Gurudev was in his own room at the Kolkata Mutt, situated at 35 Satish Mukherjee Road. At 4 o'clock in the afternoon, on the same day, the devotees left Kolkata with his transcendental body in the accompaniment of the holy names and came to Mayapur, where he was placed in Samadhi at the end of the night according to the scriptural directions. The officiating priest at his Samadhi festival was Śrīla Bhakti Pramod Puri Goswami Mahārāja. And on March 1st, 1979, a festival of separation was held in his honor at the headquarters of the Sri Caitanya Gaudiya Math at Ishodhyan in Mayapur. On Thursday, March 22nd, 1979, a memorial assembly was held in the Sankirtan Hall at the Kolkata Mutt on 35 Satish Mukherjee Road, under the direction of Parivrajacharya Tridandi Swami Bhakti Hriday Ban Maharaj. The guest of honor was the publisher of the Amrita Bazar Patrika, Tushar Kanti Ghosh. Many of Srila Gurudev's godbrothers and leading citizens of Kolkata were present at the assembly. A list of mats and institutions established by Srila Gurudev. Here is a list of the many mats, schools, libraries, free clinics, and printing presses, the great drums of the modern Sankirtan movement. This list is given in chronological order. So in 1942, the Shamananda Gaudiya Math was established in Medinipur. This temple was established by Srila Gurudev with the help of his two godbrothers, Srila Bhakti Vichar Jajavar Mahārāja and Srila Bhakti Kumar Santa Gosvāmī Mahārāja. Then 1948, Sri Gaudiya Math in Tejpur, Assam. 1953, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Paltan Bazar, Guwahati in Assam. Then 1955, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in 86A Rasbihari Avenue, Kolkata. Okay, sorry, just looking back. Okay, 1956 was Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math Ishodyan, Sri Mayapur, Nadia. 1956, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Sarveshwar Haveli, Vrindavan. 1960, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math Gowari Bazar, or Gwari Bazar, I don't know how to say it, Gowari Bazar, Krishnanagar, Nadia. Then 1960, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, Mathura Road, Vrindavan. Then 1961, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math, 35 Satish Mukherjee Road, Kolkata 26. The new temple was opened in 1967. Interesting, the order of the mats. Like how first it was, well, in Assam. Medinipur is first, and then Assam. Then Mayapur, then Krishnanagar, then Vrindavan, and then that Kolkata mat. Okay, sorry. Then 1961, Gaudiya Sevashram, Madhuban, Maholi, that's in Mathura. 1962, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in, I'm just going to say the country now. The state, Hyderabad. Then 1962, Sri Jagadish Pandit Shripat in Jashra, Nadia. 1967, Sri Binod Bani Gaudiya Math, that's in Vrindavan on the way to Banke Bihari. Then 1969, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Gwalpara, Assam. 1970, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Chandigarh. 1972, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Hyderabad. 1974, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Puri. That's Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada's birthplace. It was acquired in 1974. Okay. Then 1975, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Gokul Mahapan, Mathura. 1976, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Sri Jagannath Mandir, Agartala. We read a lot about that in the book Sweet, Sweeter, Sweetest. There's, yeah. And then 1977, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Dehradun, UP. Okay, so now these are the schools that he established. Oh, and it's 8 o'clock. Anyways, I think anyways, I'll go through this quickly. So there's the Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Chatushpati in Medinipur, Shamananda Gaudiya Math. Then there's a Sri Siddhanta Saraswati Prathamik Vidyalaya in Sri Mayapur. Well, that's cool. I never knew about that. Then Sri Gaudiya Sanskrit Vidyapit, also in Mayapur. Then there's a Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Vidya Mandir, the primary and secondary school in Rasbihari Avenue, Kolkata. Then Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Paschatya Bhashya Shikshalaya, so Western Languages School, also in Kolkata, in that Rasbihari Avenue. Okay, then 1968, Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Sanskrit Mahavidyalaya, also in Rasbihari Avenue in Kolkata. Then Chaitanya Gaudiya Sanskrit Vidyalaya in Chandigarh. Sri Chaitanya Gaudiya Anta Pradeshika Bhasha Shikshalaya, Indian Languages School in Chandigarh. So neat, huh? And then libraries. Oh yeah, the library in the Chaitanya Gaudiya Math in Kolkata is amazing. Yeah. Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math Grantagar in Chaitanya, Kolkata Chaitanya Gaudiya Math. And then also in Chandigarh, it's a Grantagar. Then free clinics. It's a free clinic in Shri Chaitanya Gaudiya Math Dattavya, I think, Salai. Sorry, I'm pronouncing bad. So they have it in Mayapur, in Chandigarh, and in Puri. These free clinics. And then printing presses. There's a printing press in Shri Chaitanya Vani Press, Prince Ghulam Muhammad Road, Taligunj in Kolkata. And it was moved to Mahim Haldar Street, Kolkata. Then the monthly magazine is the Shri Chaitanya Vani Patrika. I have all the PDFs for that. Then other temples that came sorry. Other temples that came under Gurudev's management. In 1955, there's Sarbhog Shri Gaudiya Math in Assam, and there's the Shri Gadai Koranga Gaudiya Math in Dhaka district, Bangladesh. Jai. All right, so that is the end of Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Maharaj's glorification of Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Goswami Maharaj in this book, Sri Chaitanya and his associates. But as we read, there's a separate book with more details. So that isn't the full, that's just like a more brief biography of him, but there's a more complete biography. Has that ever been published in English before? I wonder.
I believe so, yes. I may have a PDF somewhere.
Okay, cool. Yeah, good to know. All right, so that is our program for today. I have no idea what we're doing tomorrow. We'll see. Yeah, but as I mentioned, I'll be in Radhakunj tomorrow. Hopefully, I don't know what the Wi-Fi is like there. Hopefully, it's good. We'll see. Right. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur, Hari Bol. One thing that I think is significant about Srila Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Goswami Maharaj first established mats in Medinipur, and then a mat in one place in Assam, and then another place in Assam, and another place, and like that. All his first preaching, all his mats were established for the purpose of preaching. Like he didn't, it wasn't just, to have a nice wonderful place in the Dham to do bhajan and like that. But no, his purpose of the mat was to preach the message. And so it was only way later that he established mats in Mayapur and in Vrindavan and like that. It really shows the spirit of those in the line of Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada to really spread the message like that. All right. Jai Shri Sachinandan Gaur Hari ki Jai, Shri Radha Vinod Bihari Ju ki Jai, Shri Radha Nayananath Ju ki Jai, Jai Shri Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Shri Param Gurudev ki Jai, Jai Shri Prabhupada ki Jai, Shri Rupanu Gauriya Guru Varga ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, Jai Shri Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Goswami Maharaj ki Jai, and all All the other disciples of Śrīla Bhakti Dayita Mādhava Gosvāmī Mahārāja ki jai, especially Śrīla Bhakti Ballabha Tīrtha ki jai. Jai, all the associates of Jagadguru Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai. Shri Rupan, Jai, Shri Swapashad Shri Gaur Nityananda Prabhu ki jai, Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopigan ki jai, Shri Giriraj Maharaj ki jai, Shri Tulsi Maharani Vrinda Devi ki jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Samagata Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Jai Shri Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. Vrindaye Tulsi Devaya Priyaye Keshavashacha Krishna Bhakti Padadevi Satyavataye Namo Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhishcha Kripa Sindhubhya Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Dandavat pranams, dear devotees, Niri Harivu Bhavatarani Mataji, Rukmini Didi, Chatamai Mataji, Champak Mataji, Anadi Krishna Prabhu, and Ganga Mataji, Mahi Bharat Prabhu, Dandavat Pranams Prabhu, Shasharamaji, Indira Mataji, and all the devotees watching in the future, like Shachi Devi, Jayadev Prabhu, Krishna Rose, Ananda Pradayani, Vrinda Didi, and everybody else. Haribo. Chatamai Mataji saying, wonderful meditation today. And thank you, Rukmini Didi. So yeah, we still need to figure out, should I continue going through Shikshashtak? See, the thing is with Shikshashtak, I'd like to continue doing it like how we did it before, just taking our time, not rushing through it, and be also going through Bhajanahasya and just going really deep into it. But that takes a really long time. That could take months even. And I need to prepare for this this Bhaktivinoda Thakur retreat, which will be happening on February 15th, 14th. And so it would be helpful for me just to like focus my attention on Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur's songs and going through them with all of you. And in the meantime, also preparing myself for when I have to do a course on that. So I think that's maybe what I'll do. And then we could, after we finish that, then maybe we can go through Bhajanahasya very thoroughly like that, like we were before. This doesn't feel totally satisfying, like starting reading Shikshashtakam and the commentaries of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur and Srila Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada and not finishing it. But I also don't want to rush through it, so anyways, we'll figure it out. Maybe I'll make a poll. I'll make a poll and I'll put it in our WhatsApp group and I'll see what all of you want. But actually, I also, anyways, whatever. Maybe I might not do that though, because I do also, like, I need to focus on, like, for, in our retreats, they're saying that all the devotees who are like doing courses should have a good idea of what their course is going to be and like an outline of it, at least by December. And I haven't even started thinking about it, so. Anyhow, yeah, sorry to blabber on. All right. Chatamai Mataji says, Bhajanahasya ki jai. All right. Hari bol, everybody. See you all tomorrow. Yeah, and I guess I'll surprise you with what we read tomorrow. All right. Hari bol.